Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mission Report, the Nintendo News Show. This is episode number 17. My name is James, and today I have only 4 different items to discuss with you. The first thing I want to talk about is the brand new trailer that just came out for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. This is a 6-minute trailer, and they actually showed off quite a bit. And kind of a rundown of what they talked about. They talked about some of Yoshi's actions and things that you could do in every Yoshi game, like eating enemies, throwing eggs, fluttering, that you're going to continue to be able to do in this game too. So it's nice to see that it is staying true to the other Yoshi games. The next thing that they talked about in this trailer was discoveries. And discoveries seem really interesting to me, and I'll talk a little bit more about them later, but basically, as you're kind of going through the levels, when you eat an enemy for the first time or do interact in any way really with a creature, you will make a little discovery, and that kind of stuff will get annotated in the background because you're supposed to be in a storybook type thing. And it looks like your chapter progression throughout the game is going to be more so based on the things that you discover and not so much on actually beating a certain level or a boss or anything like that. And so I find that to be pretty interesting. It does also seem like the individual levels are each going to be based on a different creature, and once you've done a certain amount of research on the creature and made certain amount of discoveries, you can, I guess, become pretty knowledgeable about that creature, and then you are given the opportunity to name them, or you can ask the book, what you should name them, and the book will probably give you the same name every single time. Not for every creature, but I would imagine that for each creature, the book has like a canon name for it. One new move that they did show off is the tail flick, and this basically lets creatures ride on top of Yoshi, and it looks like doing different actions with creatures riding on top of Yoshi can lead to new discoveries and new abilities and other kinds of stuff. So that seems pretty cool too. Another thing that they talked about was the tokens. I believe that you're going to be collecting tokens and stuff throughout the different levels, and then you can exchange those tokens to predict where new discoveries are going to be. Bowser Jr. was shown to be in there, and Comic, the blue wizard guy. I always thought it was pronounced Kamek, but in the trailer they pronounced it Comic. So pronounce that, I guess, however you want. It doesn't really say what the point of Bowser Jr. being there is. It just says that they are searching for something inside of the book. So I would imagine that as you go through the chapters of the book, you're going to find out more and more about what Bowser Jr. and Comic are doing there. Towards the end, they said that the game is going to support 8 different amiibo, and those are the 5 Yarn amiibo that came out for Yoshi's Woolly World, the Super Smash Bros. Version of Yoshi, the Super Smash Bros. Version of Bowser Jr., and the Super Mario Brothers version of Yoshi, the one with the red base. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and those amiibos, I would imagine that you can scan them once every day. It might have said in the trailer, but I don't remember. But they will give you additional tokens that you can, as I already said, exchange for hints to new discoveries. And I'm going to be honest, I actually think this game's looking pretty good. This trailer increased my interest in the game. Historically, I'm not really that big of a fan of the Yoshi games because I find the platforming in these games, starting with Yoshi's Woolly World, getting to Yoshi's Crafted World, and then even recently as I've gone back to play Yoshi's Island for the first time here recently, I find the platforming to be so easy that it's boring. And so having a way that you progress through the game that's not really tied to easy platforming is pretty interesting to me. That being said, it could still end up being that the whatever discoveries are required to progress in the level could just be kind of like handed to you kind of at the end of the level. But I guess I won't really know that until May 21st, which I guess I also forgot to mention. This game is coming out May 21st, and I do think I will be there checking it out day one. Next, I want to talk about some new additions to Nintendo Music. 26 tracks from Mario Tennis Aces are hitting Nintendo Music. They're actually already available in there. I did not go in and listen to any of them. I don't really remember a whole bunch of the music from Mario Tennis Aces, but they've added 26 different tracks for a total of 84 minutes. So, as always, if you are into Nintendo Music, go ahead and check those out. The next thing I want to talk about is the Tomodachi Life Living the Dream reviews. I don't really know what I expected from the reviews of this game. It's sitting at about a 78 on Metacritic, which is not bad. I think it definitely could have been much worse. But it also could have been better when you compare it to games like Animal Crossing and Pokemon Pokopia and other kind of these like leisurely like village simulation style games. It's also sitting at an 8.5 user score, which I would imagine that Nintendo is pretty happy with. And it seems anecdotally like everyone that's playing this game is having a whole lot of fun with it, kind of creating different characters and watching them interact with each other and get into all kinds of shenanigans. I won't be checking out this game, but I am really glad that the people who were excited for it are having a great time. Number 4, Nintendo and Illumination are working on another movie. This comes from Nintendo Life. With the Super Mario Galaxy movie rolling in the dough right now, it makes absolute sense that Nintendo and Illumination are looking ahead to the future, and it seems like the two studios have a plan. Universal Pictures International Spain's release schedule lists an unannounced movie from the gaming and animation giants, which is set for the 12th of April 2028. That's less than 2 years away. Currently, it's listed as Untitled Illumination/Nintendo Event Film. So we have no idea what that means. Is it a new Mario movie? It might. But the first and second films had 3 years between them. So, I don't typically talk about like rumors and speculation and stuff on this podcast or on the show. But since this came from a thing at Universal Pictures, I feel like it's pretty much, it's pretty set in stone. But I find that pretty interesting. This is going to be the third collaboration between Nintendo and Illumination. The first was the Super Mario Bros. Movie in 2023. The second was the Super Mario Galaxy movie that came out earlier this year, and actually earlier this month. And I don't know really what I would expect the next one to be. What would make sense to me would probably be for it to be another Mario movie, but with there being 3 years between the first and second Mario movie and only 2 years between Mario Galaxy and the next movie, it might be too early for another Mario movie. I do think it's possible that they could have started another Mario movie before the Mario Galaxy movie came out, and in anticipation for it being pretty popular, and just kind of thinking that they were going to want to get a jump on that third movie ahead. But other than just thinking that that's possible, I don't really have any reason to think that that's what's going on here. In the Super Mario Brothers movie from 2023, Donkey Kong was a pretty important character there, and I think that they could be working on a Donkey Kong movie. And so part of why I think that is that Donkey Kong Bonanza is one of the biggest games on Nintendo Switch 2 right now. So I think they could very reasonably try to get a Donkey Kong movie going as well, to try to promote some like Donkey Kong synergy. But if that's true, I would have expected them to kind of time it out a little bit better, so that the movie and the game come out a little bit closer together. Because in April of 2020, what year did they say? In April of 2028, by that point, Donkey Kong Bonanza will have been 3 years old. And so I don't think making a movie or making a video game and then 3 years later making a game, nope, other way around, making a game and then 3 years later making a related movie to it would really promote synergy in the way that they're probably trying to. The thing that I am pretty much on board for is that I think that it's going to be something Star Fox related. And the reason that I think that is because there are kind of rumors floating around of a Star Fox game coming very, very soon. So Nintendo hasn't really said anything about Star Fox in a while, but Fox was a pretty big character in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, so I think it's pretty likely that Nintendo could be getting ready for a very strong revival of the Star Fox brand, starting with a game later this year or early next year, and then maybe following up with some Nintendo Switch Online editions in 2027, and then followed by this movie in 2028. But I guess we won't really know for sure until we actually hear something from Nintendo or Illumination. And guys, that's all that I have for today. In the comment section, please let me know what you think of these items I discussed. What do you think this secret movie is going to be? As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next mission.